for a long, long time. And I sort of visualised this actress and her mother saying, "You're going to be a star one day."
When they took the bandages off.
What is those bandages?
I had no idea. Once I left, I was so emotionally ready to make the break that I went immediately on to other work. And I really haven't looked back. I must honestly say I've also never watched the show again. I don't know. It was a bit like getting a divorce. You know what I mean? I think it would be rather unhealthy to go and spend a weekend.
They've tried to get you back, haven't they? They have tried to get you back.
Well, I don't want to. They've been very provocative. But I really was ready to leave, and the reasons I left had much less to do with money and much more to do with my career and personal decisions. Because Dallas was becoming my career, and it's not what it is. It's a job. I took the job as an actress, and I was so happy about the success. But the success goes just so far, and then if you care about your work and you care about growing, you have to go on and do other things, or at least try to.
So it's a dilemma for you, isn't it? Because there you had a success that every actress must dream about. But I suspect it must take you over to the point where it's almost insane. I mean, you can't lead a second's moment of privacy.
Well, that had nothing to do with my leaving, because I loved the success, and I was aware of, if you want to call them sacrifices, that would have to be made, but they seemed so small in comparison to all the treats that I would receive. I love what comes with success, I really do, and I've enjoyed it. And I want more success, and I hope eventually I'll do another series, and I hope it will be, if that's possible, equally successful.
What comes with success that stands out? I mean, is it purely money? Kidney-shaped swimming pools?
No, it's the ability to do more parts. It's working on a consistent basis, which I really love. I think I have a banker's mentality. I love the idea of working Monday through Friday and knowing where I'm going to be. And I like having people recognize me. It's a remarkable thing to be able to simply look at someone and they smile because you give them pleasure simply by being there. And I think that's one of the byproducts of success that I really enjoy.
But would you advise them, I mean, you're talking as an actress, looking for, if you like, more satisfying roles now. Why, great actors like Larry Hagman and the much abused Ken Kercheval, would you say that they're making the wrong decision to stick with it and stick with it and stick with it?
I couldn't possibly speak for them because they're obviously making a decision that is best for them. I'm making a decision which I feel is best for me.
But Patrick Duffy changed his mind, didn't he?
Apparently.
Apparently you must have been his wife.
No, I was.
Take us through the Victoria Mansion, because I'm very sneaky and I'd love to know about, I'd love to look through the keyhole. Do you have a large, sumptuous mansion with huge ornaments everywhere, costing millions of dollars?
We have a very small, lovely, charming home. And
how small is small?
Well, I'll give you an example. I once was going to do an interview in my home, and the interviewer arrived with the people and looked around and said, "This is lovely. Is this the guest house?" So it's very small. It's a one-bedroom home. It's rather hedonistic in the sense that although it's one bedroom, there's a gymnasium because we like to work. I'm married, so when I say we, I mean my husband and I like to work out. There's an office. There's a kitchen. I call it the world's smallest adult kitchen. The dining room and living room, and that's our home.
And not a huge staff quarters? 3 butlers?
Well, we'd have to have a staff. No, I have a housekeeper who comes in Monday through Friday. And then she sometimes does the cooking, I do the cooking. Sometimes we go out. It's a very nice way to live. I like to live this way. My married life is wonderful. Yeah.
I mean, you haven't been married that long, have you? 2, 3 years?
3 years. Yeah. Almost 3 years, but we've been together 6, so.
How are you enjoying that, the enforced togetherness?
It's not enforced.
No, well, you know what I mean.
No, I'm really quite keen on separating it. We don't think about ourselves having been married 2 years. We think that because we've been committed for 6, the marriage was incidental. It was a public way of saying we plan to spend our lives together. But marriage hasn't changed our relationship. And I love our relationship. We aren't enforced together. We choose to be together.
Your husband's plastic surgeon, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and reconstructive.
What does that mean?
That means he deals a lot with cancer patients.
Oh, I see. People who've had a problem and need...
People who've lost part of their faces or their breasts or arms or legs. Oh. And he also does accident victims.
You say, you made that point almost as though, because plastic surgery sometimes sounds trivial, and it gets accused of being trivial, sort of women who just want facelifts. Whereas you said that quite suddenly.
I'm very proud of it.
Exactly.
Yes,
So you
studied with Tessier, who is considered one of the greatest living reconstructive surgeons in the world in Paris. So I'm very proud of that about my husband.
So do you see much of him?
Yes. Yes, I do.
If he saves people from, I mean, clearly does a great job in, as you call it, reconstruction. Did he save you at times? Because no matter what you say, you led a strictly abnormal life on Dulles. You must have done. And it must have been a relief to get through that front door.
I didn't lead a strictly abnormal life on Dallas. In fact, you seemed a little surprised about my home. I've always worked very hard to keep a grasp on reality and to live as much a normal life and grasp what I think the beauty of life is coming home and having dinner with someone I love, and then talking as you clean up, and you go upstairs, and he has his paperwork to do, and I have my lines to learn. And it's like any other two people who have a job. We love our work, and we love each other so much, and we share it, together, and we share it with our friends, and our friends come over, and I cook, and Harry helps me clear the dishes, and then one of my girlfriends will come on and we clean the dishes. I haven't let go of life.
Well, you are clearly then normal, conventional in all the right ways. How did you then react when all the stories, which were endless, about Victoria Principal and other characters in Dallas, hit the papers, hit the press? Not the right sort of stories, not the sort of stories you want to see coming through your front door.
Well, the reactions vary. You know how things strike you differently every day of your life. There were some stories that I reacted very violently to and distressed me terribly, and I wanted so badly to be able to set them right. But there almost is no way that you can do that to reach everyone. And sometimes by denying them, you give them validity. It's like saying, by the way, I don't have a headache. Well, someone immediately thinks, oh, she must have had a headache. It gives something validity when you begin to go out and say it's not true. So very often the best thing to do is simply do nothing but go in and live the best life you can. And that's what I've tried to do.
Well, let's try and brighten up your day, because the man sitting next to you, we must introduce...
The man who's goosing me.
Now I know that you're thinking quite loud, because this is a kind of a loud hand. You're so beautiful, nice to see you again.
There's no stopping you, Giles Brandon.
No, I mean, what's the point of coming here morning after morning?
Giles, this is Victoria. I thought I'd better introduce you.
Well, I just wanted to share with the nation. What is the point of coming here, meeting the world's most beautiful women, and not actually taking advantage of it? I would be a fool, wouldn't I, if I didn't? And so here I am, Victoria, you and I together.
There you go.
I brought a little prezi for you. Look at this. This is a rather nice jumper created by Tracy Street of a dinosaur, and I want you to have something to remember me by wherever you go. And so this is a rather sweet dinosaur. I think it's perhaps appropriate that you can take. And in that little home of yours, where it's so lovely, this is domestic, you and hubby just having a little simple scrambled egg prepared by the housekeeper. You can, a joke, you can put that on your bed.
I got it. Thank you.
Husband will say, what the dickens is that?
And it's got a little British bib on. Okay, because there's a bit of a medieval
reconstruction itself.
Giles, you better give us a flavour of the postbag.
I think I must. Good morning, Britain. I'm Giles Brandreth, and before I go any further, we've had a letter from Sally... London, America. Indeed, because we hear from people all over the world, in anticipation of all the letters we're going to get, saying, have that again and again.
All right.
Yes. Well, what did I dip into this bag and come up with all sorts of gems that you like to communicate to the nation at large. Listen to this one from Tracy Vernon of Milton Keynes. Happy anniversary. Here's a kettle. Oh, very romantic, isn't it? What are you going to be giving your darling husband for?
Well, I think I'll be traditional and go with the leather.
Yes, I know.
Yes, well, I think we better take a break. We'll be back in a couple of moments. Again, Victoria Principal is still with us. She's found a co-star in Giles Brandreth, but we'll try and ignore him for the next few minutes. Victoria, not many people know that you lived in London for a great deal of your earlier life, and you went to the Royal Ballet School.
Yes, for 2 years.
So you obviously wanted to be a dancer. What happened? Why did you not go on with it?
Well, I loved dancing, but after the 2 years, I realized that I didn't have the temperament, that I didn't feel that all that I put into the dance, for me, was what I got out. It didn't work out that way, and acting was something that I more and more gravitated to.
So did you go into acting in Britain, or did you go to
America? I went back to the United States, and then I came back in my late teens, and I studied pilot with Gene Scott at RADA for a little over a year and a half. And then I went back to the United States and began working quite early on. Last night I went to see a play, Le Liaison Dangereuse, and I was up rather late in the evening thinking, because if I had my life to lead over again, I'm not the kind of person who usually says that. I usually say, well, I've done it and I'm quite glad. I would really love to come back here and spend a decade of my life studying. I think that what actors learn here, especially the Shakespearean company, what they learn to do with their voices, what they learn to do with their body language and with their movements, the stylized training that they have, it's just wonderful. And we really don't have a place like that in the United States.
The theatre in Britain is a different sort of theatre entirely from the States, isn't it?
It is.
We get the huge stars from the States, where we all sort of sit back with great Hollywood stars, the new television stars. But in a way, British actors are different, aren't they?
They are. They're much different because the training is different. And it's a foundation because the classics are used and because the classical training is used. There's a firmer foundation when you know how to do everything, when you've started from the beginning and learned up to contemporary acting. And American actors are really, for the most part, contemporary actors. And I think most of us are children of film in the United States, and we do very well in that medium, whether that be features or television. But when it comes to the stage, I really, that's one of the few things I wish I could go back and do.
Nothing wrong with that in a way, is there? But you've left Dallas, you said, particularly because you wanted your career to consist of other things than just Dallas.
For me, I mean, as my career goes along, and maybe some people will say, you know, if she'd never left Dallas, she'd have done much better. But the fact is, I have to find out what I can do. And I can't live my life in regret. If only I had tried this. If only I'd had the courage to leave. If only... I don't want to leave my life that way.
Why then didn't you let them kill you off in Dallas?
It was up to them what they did.
But it's a very... I mean, it's as though they've left the door open for you to walk in again.
No, but you say it as though I had some control over it.
You didn't.
They chose how to end it, and after I left, they chose to put a person in bandages, not me.
Maybe it was because they were convinced they could talk you back in. Was it?
Well, I suppose they were convinced I wouldn't leave. I mean, I don't think they... I don't think they knew me very well.
I suppose with the experience of Patrick Duffy leaving and then having to come back and the problems with the storyline that caused, maybe they're going to leave the door open for every actor.
I suppose it made them think twice about ever believing someone if they said I'm leaving. But I think at this point in time they know that I'm quite firm about it. And I am.
Still are?
Yes, I would rather not work than do anything that I see as a step backwards. I know what I want to do for myself, and it may not be as publicly successful, but it's going to be professionally and personally successful, and that's really what's most important to me now. If I don't grow for myself, then it's all a matter of money, really. It's being bought.
I think you should pop in for a pint at Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, you're always open.
Everything.
She's on her way down from Scotland, doesn't
Yeah, or go down via East End.
Actually, is there anything else in the pipeline? Because we're a bit slow in Britain, as I say.
I know there's something that's about to appear called Mistress, which I did in the United States and was really well received. And it's going to be on television here, but it's going to be a feature in other parts of Europe. And I'm going to be doing a 5-hour miniseries, which I'm also producing and starring in.
Control.
And I like that. In fact, most of the projects I'm doing now, I'm co-producing through my own company.
Do you find that difficult producing when you were in front of the... No?
I really like it. I suppose it's why I love to run my own house. I love the little bits of information. I like having a hands-on feeling. And I feel much more productive and creative that way.
Bit of a waste, though, putting you behind the camera, isn't it?
Oh, it doesn't feel wasteful to me, and I get a lot done.
What a chauvinistic comment for a woman to make, isn't it? Sorry about that.
I tell you what, here's another chauvinistic. That diet principle is working, isn't it? Didn't you do a diet thing?
Oh, the book has been the second best-selling diet book in America. It's done very well. So
what do you eat then, or not eat?
Oh, no, that's the whole point. I do eat.
Yeah.
You see, I don't think a diet should be what you don't eat. A diet should be about what you do eat, because you eat to live. And if you don't think of it that way, then you're going about a denial. Eating shouldn't be denial. It should be eating things that are good for you.
It's the difference between people who want to eat fruit to live and people who want to eat chocolate biscuits to live. That's the trouble.
Well, it's about living. It's a better way of living, really, is what it's about.
I must read it.
So,
Victoria, we're running out of time. It's awful, I know, but thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank
it's
you.
really great to meet you.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you.
Really great to meet you.
And I know that, of course, it was the highlight of your day to meet Giles.
Oh, Giles.
I'm going shopping now.
And the day is young.
Yes, it is.
Very young, yeah.
Oh, wow.